I don't know why they decided that they didn't want people to build there. All this stupid shit. It's 2025. Run the scenario through ChatGPT, okay? If ChatGPT says that it makes the most sense not to build in the Greenbelt, then fine. This episode of the Under the Table podcast is brought to you by Shrubs.me, your all-in-one digital hub. Share files, links, videos, and more from one beautiful customizable page. Picture a cross between Dropbox, Linktree, and Patreon. Get your free account with 2.5 gigabytes of cloud storage today at Shrubs.me.
All right, so Dougie and the boys, okay, and the bandits.
Okay.
We know what happened, okay? Greenbelt lands, there was 15 properties that were taken out of the Greenbelt, and he had all his, select pieces of land, which, yes, there might have been a personal relationship between him and the landowners, but also these landowners were ready to build, and Doug had a mandate to build more houses.
And
So
able.
These guys were the guys. It wasn't just random like friends and it was like ha ha ha. Then they can no. These happened to be also the number one guys in the position to build in the Greenbelt, and nobody could be possibly getting more houses online than these guys.
Okay? No, to be clear, they didn't go to like
a farmer,
right? Like farmers. Although a lot of them own a ton of farmland and they're farmers, but they didn't go to like the aerospace program and say, because we're friends, we're going to give you a bunch of money to build a bunch of houses.
Exactly.
All they did was say, you know what? Somehow it managed to like line up perfectly that you guys own this land in an area where if we just unlocked the ability to build residential, you'd all be billionaires multiple times overnight. That has nothing to do with anything.
Even though you're already billionaires.
Yeah, who cares? What's another billion?
The main thing was that the way he went about it, because there was a lot of extra stuff. And like considering the amount of money that would be involved in those land appreciation costs, it's not like, Doug was getting, unless he's got some sort of, bank account somewhere that no one knows about. But we're talking about some pretty, minor allegations for housing ministers and people who are, connected to the program. And so, massages in Las Vegas and Maple Leafs tickets and all those type of things. These to me are pretty inconsequential, but nonetheless mean something to somebody. And if all you got to do is sign a piece of paper at work and you and your son are going to the Leafs games that night, then I'm not surprised if somebody could be influenced by that. But my point is,
those are expensive tickets.
My point is, right, is that they got caught, and that, it was very obvious. So now they're going through all the emails, and the emails, it's like G, B, G, star, 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 and they're code naming Greenbelt all over the place. And there's some deleted emails, and there's some information that they weren't supposed to have, and that basically it's all coming to light now. It's like, hold on a second, RCMP is looking into it. This is definitely something that they're not supposed to do, that they were not handling proper internal communications like they were, especially as something as, important as this. And so unfortunately what happens now is you're going to get all these people, all these NIMBYs, all these environmentalists, all these, going from one protest to the next protest type of people who are now all going to say, we need to put further protections on the Greenbelt. We need to make sure that no government can ever do this again. Otherwise we're going to lose our farm and land, Guys, do you know how much land we have in Canada? Like, does anybody really know the amount of unused land we have here? Like, I don't have that statistic, but just go and look at a map, go and see how much land we have. We got enough land. We're going to figure things out. Okay. We need some more houses. That's what we need around Toronto. We got enough land. Go and look at the Greenbelt. Go and look at the areas that are covered by Greenbelt. Not all of it's being farmed. Okay.
TK.
Yeah.
There's like the blue speckled hummingbird.
Listen, the blue speckled hummingbird with the orange butt frog. Okay.
The orange butt frog?
The orange butt frog. We're gonna make sure that they have the best opportunity to live like we possibly can. But they used to be down at on Bremner. They used to be in Leslieville. They're not there anymore. They moved.
Did anybody notice?
Right? They moved. That's what's going to happen if that goes down. And obviously you're going to try to protect conservation areas as much as you can. But when we're talking about a big open field in the middle of this so-called Greenbelt, there is definitely places that should be built. When they trace back the map on how the Greenbelt was drawn, and they look at all the landowners who represent the current, at that time, the Liberal Party, right? Would have been Dalton McGuinty, the Liberal Party, who was, who supported the Liberal Party and who supported the Conservatives. You'll see a very clear line around the Liberal Party's supporters' land, excluding them from being part of this green belt, right?
Sure.
And the people who didn't support the current that time, the standing Liberal Provincial Party, those people's land got included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my
So
ends
how
in
much
Marvin's
science
house.
was put into this?
No science. It's
No
called
science.
money, right? It's money, 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 money.
So there's a 10-year study that's now coming up.
A 10-year study that's coming up.
That's due. That's mandatory. That they have a 10-year study. It was due in March for people to now submit reports and for the government to be able to review and for public consultation, because they need to figure out how they should go about handling the greenbelt. And I hope to God that, I'm not saying remove it all. I'm not saying any should be removed or kept. Just look into it. Just, can somebody actually provide some sort of reports that are going to show the impact of building a few thousand houses, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000? Like,
When I
can we
was
not get some
growing
more
up,
houses?
like Leslie and John Street was not even
Yeah.
a thing. Like it was all farmland up there,
Yeah.
Bayview in like just north of Steeles, all this stuff, maybe a little like John Street,
Yeah.
all like fields and horses and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so it's like, how did they decide where to build all these subdivisions that popped up all over the place, right?
Yeah.
It was where all those guys owned land, right?
Yeah.
It was like, we own the land here. We're going to develop it. We're going to build something here,
Yeah.
right? And so how is the green belt fucking different than all these other, like, why Newmarket? Why Barrie? Why Vaughan? Why,
Yeah.
right? Like Stouffville.
407 goes right through the green belt. Interesting.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I
why?
still see frogs in the ponds.
It'd be hard to not notice orange butt frogs missing, I
Yeah.
must say.
Right.
Right? Like you'd think you would notice that all the orange butt frogs disappeared. But regardless, the point is that development is constantly following two things: transit and the developers that own the land near where they want you to build.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know why they decided that they didn't want people to build there. All this stupid shit. It's 2025. Run the scenario through ChatGPT. Okay. If ChatGPT says that it makes the most sense not to build in the greenbelt, then fine.
Well, we got to do that now.
Well, we can do that now.
Yeah, we have
But
to do that now.
really,
After you said it.
what the fuck? Like who the problem is like people don't know what to do when there's this giant group of unathletic people with weird multicolor hair and tattoos and rings all over the place and signs and pickets and pitchforks. People don't know how to deal with that other than to give them what they want, right? And so over time, you had all these people advocating to not build over there, and then they won, right?
Yep.
And they probably won while a bunch of this land was already owned by a bunch of these developer billionaires, right? And so they spent probably the last 10 years paying politicians to remove the constraints, I would imagine, right? Or waiting until somebody was willing to remove the constraints. But I'm pretty sure that money gets involved in these big deals at some level. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just making.
Well, ChatGPT said no, but then I just told it to support the greenbelt, and so now it says absolutely.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah. Conclusion.
I'm guessing
Ontario faces an unprecedented housing challenge. With thoughtful planning, strict environmental safeguards, and smart design, limited development within the greenbelt can address this crisis without compromising long-term sustainability. The goal isn't to pave over protected land, but to use our land resources more intelligently and humanely. That's what it is. It's just dumb.